AFC to skip LGE. Health Ministry investigates maternal deaths. And why your vote matters. I am Enrico Bulford, and this is Uncut News. Do you see news happening? Send us a tip on WhatsApp at 592-659-6151. Due to worries over the voters list, the AFC has declared that it would not run in the next local government elections in March. The AFC feels that the list is bloated, and that any future elections must use a fresh voters list. Sherrod Duncan stated that during the national recount following the 2020 general elections, it was discovered that votes are cast for people who were deceased or had since relocated. Going into the polls with the same list that caused the issues in 2020 will contribute to confusion in future elections, according to the party. The AFC has also called for the adoption of biometrics to boost trust in the electoral system. The Local Content Secretariat issued a local content certificate to Ramps Logistics following the High Court's ruling on the matter. Acting Chief Justice Roxanne George directed the Local Content Secretariat on Friday to give Ramps Logistics their certificate by noon Monday. Ramps obtained the certificate just after 11:30 a.m. Ramps' first application was refused, and when they renewed, they never received an answer, so they went to court over the matter. The Chief Justice ruled that the Local Content Secretariat violated the Local Content Act by refusing to award Ramps Logistics a certificate of registration despite the fact that it met the 51% Guyanese ownership criteria. On a related note, the President has advised companies to take their tax obligations seriously. While the government has been working hard to create a suitable business climate for the private sector businesses by providing concessions and tax reductions and basically bending over backwards just to make these people happy, some members of the business community are still neglecting to pay their taxes. He also stated that the government can only do so much and that the private sector must also contribute to national development, meaning that there must be much more action and much less talking. I agree with him fully. The Auditor General's office has begun a special investigation into the Office of the President's purchase of 100,000 birth certificates. According to the report, $18.599 million was spent on the purchase of 100,000 birth certificates. The government passed the Registration of Births and Deaths Amendment Bill 2021 last year. The amendment permits an adult who does not have an original document or record of birth to be awarded a certificate after being certified by a high-ranking member of their community. Minister Ben stated that at the time, the former Department of Citizenship was accused of acting against those seeking birth certificates, so this is why they felt they needed to pass said legislation. Linden resident Tion Hope has made history as the first Guyanese to be denied entry to the UK following the dropping of visa requirements for Guyanese citizens. Yes, immigration officers at Heathrow Airport in London denied Hope entry on the grounds that they were unsatisfied with the amount of money he had on his person for his length of stay. According to his sister, who is the one who actually bought the ticket, the authorities said the £400 Hope had on him was not enough money. And, of course, as previously stated, she was actually the one who bought the tickets, not him, so it doesn't even matter. In fact, she was trying to reunite her family after years apart. Nevertheless, keep this in mind if you're planning a trip to London soon, because apparently Britain has a ban on broke people. It's November, which means it's officially robbery season. That's why you need to get security for your home and business through Sheriff Security Service. Sheriff Security offers well-trained guards, armed and unarmed patrol, marine patrol, K9 services. These people even got drones. Why? Because your security is their highest priority. You've seen the rest. Now hire the best. Hire Sheriff Security Service today. Now it's time to tell you about Best Buy's Car of the Week. Currently on sale is this 2016 Toyota Crown Athlete. It comes with Bluetooth mark rims, new tires, TV, CD, stereo, fog lamp, spot camera, and much, much more. Buy cash for $9.95 million, or pay as low as $1.99 million down, with around $170,000 monthly for 5 years, and it is yours. Call or WhatsApp 662-0844 for more info, or visit their showrooms at 171 Peter Street, Queenstown, or lot 2 Lamar Street, and tell them the Riga sent you for this sweet deal. Last weekend, 2 maternal fatalities were reported at the Georgetown Public Hospital, and according to Dr. Frank Anthony, both the Health Ministry and the hospital are investigating the deaths for probable deficiencies in the treatment provided. On Friday, a 40-year-old woman from Region 6 died while undergoing treatment. The woman was in the hospital after being treated for the Rona. She, on the other hand, had additional underlying conditions such as prenatal hypertension and asthma. At the time of the woman's death, the unborn child was not at a viable age. Meanwhile, a 19-year-old pregnant woman and her twin babies died on Sunday. The Food and Drug Administration has issued an urgent recall of top-shelf ramen noodles with a batch number of 0660 and 0580 and an expiration date of February 17th, 2023. Don't worry, it has nothing to do with that alleged body demon that Rasta on TikTok is fretting over. It actually has to do with some foodborne illness risk. In fact, consumers who purchase this product are cautioned that it is unfit for human consumption. Foodborne sickness symptoms include, but are not limited to, diarrhea, vomiting, nausea, headaches, and stomach pains. Consumers who report sickness should contact their local health facility for proper follow-up and treatment. On Monday morning, a cutlass-wielding man rushed into the Bohemian Primary School in Region 6 with the goal of harming a parent. The event occurred shortly after the parent had dropped her child off at school. The woman hid in the building as the drunken man raced into the school grounds, searching for her. Other parents and teachers thus fled to safety as well. Although no one was harmed in the incident, the man did chop someone's motorcycle and also attempted to harm a government part-time worker stationed at the gate. The man escaped before the authorities could arrive some 30 minutes later. Now for our stupid news of the day. You know what I think is stupid? Just how little people seem to care about local government elections in this nation. I mean, come on, Guyanese cared so little about it that we actually let the PPP get away with suspending these important elections for over 2 decades. I mean, honestly, think for a second of just how insane that is, that people made sure to fight up every 5 years for the national elections. But we continue to accept the PPP's lame excuses about why we couldn't hold the local government elections, and those are supposed to be held every 3 years. And what happened during those 2 decades without elections? Corruption, bullyism, favoritism, and of course, the severe electoral dysfunction we currently experience now. Since every RDC member knew they were never going to lose their jobs, many acted as though they were lords of the manor, ruling over the peasants they called constituents. If you want to avoid falling into another 2 decades of ineffective local government and having the national government literally dictate every single element of your life, I implore that you come forward and run as an independent candidate under the Movement for Unity and Democracy for your constituency. Sign up today at www.unityforguyana.com and we will give you all the necessary backing and support to campaign effectively. Attention truck owners, if you're not shopping at Powered Automotive, you're wasting your money. Powered Automotive has all the major parts for all models of DAF, Freightliner, Mark, International, and more. No need to knock your belly here. They have all the parts you need at prices you can afford. Visit them at Lot 491 EE Echoes or call or WhatsApp them on telephone number 697-0171. Save big on truck parts at Powered Automotive, the #1 heavy-duty truck parts store in Guyana. You can multiply your cash by selling Digicel Top-Up. This is a legit way you can earn some extra money at your business or to supplement your current hustle. Become a top-up vendor quick and easy by linking with Cellular Plus. Call them on telephone number 685-3109 for more info. Now for our uncut news, viewer poll question of the day. Every day we pose the question about current events in Ghana, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel it relates to us. On Friday, I asked, how do you feel about the gas to energy project? Terrence Andrews says, I just flashed back to what happened in the Gulf of Mexico in one of the most busiest rivers in Ghana. Oh, you mean the BP oil spill, one of the worst that we've had in this past decade? Yeah, I remember that too. Dimitri V says, I feel like we'll be somewhere in between. Sure, it'll help with the energy problem in Guyana, but there have already been reports that other forms of energy like solar energy are much cheaper and viable, but for some reason the government refuses to invest more heavily in them. They keep on with this narrative that it's really expensive. I thought the point was to move towards more renewable energy, not burn more fossil fuels. Well, just remember this, the PPP came into government when Trump was in office. That should give you some context as to their views on the oil industry and renewables. Rob Peters says fossil fuels will be at their ending point in the next 20 to 30 years. Then what? There's going to be another useless building which will serve no purpose. Indeed. And now you're going to go and find a new source of producing energy? Perhaps now wind or solar? Why not produce wind or solar now? Put that same money into protecting the people of Ghana first. Ghana needs to stand up on her own and stop depending on others like they have for decades. Be truly independent and show the world that we are a contender. Leave the rainforest alone to thrive. I agree with you 100%. I just wish our leaders felt the same. And finally, Dawn Trillion says, I don't care about no gas. I pass gas. Ha ha! Indeed.
As an independent online news entity, being politically objective can cost you a lot of money in lost sponsorship opportunities. That's because most local companies are often too scared to associate themselves with a news entity that is uncompromising with the truth. We do appreciate our sponsors, as their support is what has allowed us to maintain our integrity without fear and remain dedicated to you, our viewers. Every night, thousands of viewers rely on Uncut News because they are tired of the biased and poorly presented mainstream media in Guyana. But to truly compete, we need your help to grow Uncut News from being the most watched online news to the most watched news in Guyana, period. Help us by becoming a monthly subscriber today. There are special rewards at every subscription level, including your name in the credits, personalized gifts, and more. Your monthly contribution helps us to stay independent by spending less time worrying about paying the bills and more time on keeping you informed. So click the link in the description of this video and become a subscriber today.
Now for tonight's question. How do you feel about the AFC deciding to sit out this election? Do you think it's a good idea, a bad idea, or does it even matter to you? I want you to think about that question. Tell us in the comments below. If your response is good enough, we just might feature it in our next episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight, and check us out tomorrow for another. Until then, I'm Rico Pulfoot saying good night, folks.